For you to know if something's going to work in a live stream, you need to do it. Whether you're doing it in a group, whether you're doing it, in a test environment, the only way you're going to know if your computer and your setup is going to work is to just go live. If you could go live in a private group, then go live in a private group. That is the only way you're going to know if something's going to work. I have so much equipment, I have so much gear. I thought my desktop PC was like amazing. I built this thing. This thing is it's an i7 9700K. It's 32 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's got an NVMe PCIe, solid state drive, whatever it's freaking called. The thing's a beast. And I put in one of those Elgato cards in that thing, and it started locking up and freezing up. And when I went to the website, I noticed you need a graphics card. According to minimum specs, according to Elgato, minimum specs, you need at least like a 10 something NVIDIA card. I have no graphics card. So right there, I'm like, okay, can I live stream with the computer? Fuck yeah. Can I live stream it with that card? Fuck no. So, I mean, when people ask, can I stream with this? Maybe. And I know a lot of people hate that. Well, maybe. What do you mean? Can I or can I not stream with it? It all depends. If you're pretty much just going to use a laptop with a built-in webcam and all that stuff, my question is this. Do you do Zoom? Can you do Zoom with that computer? Then you could do a live stream with that computer. Are you going to be able to use software and multiple cameras and overlays and all this stuff? Maybe not. Unless you just do it and you find out. So my comment, I thought I probably would come off as an asshole now, but my comment was, and I'm going to date myself if people aren't familiar. If you have a Pinto, don't expect to drive that Pinto like it's a Corvette. If you have a Corvette, don't expect to drive that Corvette like it's a Ferrari. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of different computers that could stream. It depends on how you're going to try to stream. Understand your computer. Understand the limits of your computer and work within the limits of your computer. Again, I built my PC. I have a ninth generation. We're on the 11th gen now of Intel chips. I have a ninth generation, a 9700K. That's not a joke. That's a processor. It's not like crazy, super expensive. I mean, it's not a $10,000 computer. I mean, I got $1,500 invested in that thing with everything that's in there, parts and all this stuff. But it is not a weak desktop. But because of the one part, that graphics card, I don't trust it to stream with the Elgato Pro or whatever it's called, that card that I have in there. Would it work with the A10 Mini? Would it work with the Camlink 4K and my cameras and all that stuff? Yeah. But I want to use the graphics card, the capture card that I installed in it. My laptop has I think 1660 Ti NVIDIA, 32 gigs. So the specs are similar, a slightly newer processor, but it has a graphics card. I have no problems broadcasting or streaming with the laptop. Would I pick the laptop over the M1 Mac Mini? No. The M1, other than me overusing the ports, because again, you have limitations. Just because you got USB ports don't mean plug a hub into that thing and plug 20 more devices in it. No. Now you're over tapping the resources. The USBs could only power up so much. You put in a microphone, you put in a stream deck, you put in, webcams and another DSL and mirrorless camera, because I have one that I have running on a USB. You plug in too many things, you're going to have issues. So now you have to compensate. I compensate with an A10 Mini. That has most of the sources. That has a camera two computers and a portal TV. That's four devices on the A10 Mini. And that's feeding into the Mac Mini. But then I have a webcam using USB. I have a Stream Deck using USB. I have this microphone using USB. I have the camera on the side here. Let me see. This one. Is it going to work? No, because I don't have things set up properly. This one. No, why ain't that working? Because I had the scene locked. Most likely. Whatever. I can't switch right now because I just don't have this thing set up in that way. Where am I? I mean, it really doesn't matter. I have so much goofy stuff that I'm playing around with here that, let's see if this one's going to work with, yeah. So this camera's connected with a USB. This camera's connected with a USB. This camera's connected through NDI, but that's still taking up resources because now it has to communicate wirelessly with my computer, or wired or whatever, because it is wired. But I mean, there's a lot of things taking up resources. And if you don't know how to check the resources on your computer, if you don't know how to understand the resources on your computer and, compensate in one way or another, either with other devices to take some of the strain off your computer. I mean, I forgot what year the Mac was. I tried streaming with a 2010 Mac. It just didn't work. I think the other one was like a 2012. And I just used the built-in camera and everything. And the video's around here somewhere. It did stream. Am I going to try to run ECAMM on there? Hell no. There's limitations. Understand the limitations. Work within the limitations. This is more of a rant. I apologize. But again, I'm not saying anything about anyone in this group. I just don't understand sometimes when, there's so much information out there. And I mean, just like ECAMM, I'm pretty sure, I didn't even look at the website myself, but I'm pretty sure if you look at the ECAMM website, there's a list of minimum requirements or minimum specs. Anytime someone says anything as minimum, don't accept that as, okay, my shit's going to work. If the minimum is a 2018, I want newer. If the minimum is 8 gigs of RAM, I want double. If the minimum is, a certain model graphics card from 5 years ago, I want a graphics card from maybe 2-3 years ago. Never accept, unless you're using something you already have. But if you're going to upgrade or buy something, never accept anything that is going to be like the minimum specs. Again, I don't mean to rant. I just feel that, there's a lot of questions out there that sometimes I just don't understand them. I mean, it's not an easy answer. Someone cannot just tell you, yes, it's going to work, because we don't know how you're using it. I think my whole problem right now is being in IT, I deal with a few hundred people that, it's like they can't do something and you look at them, you're like, well, what's the problem? Oh, it doesn't work. It's broken. What do you mean it's broken? Well, I can't print. Well, what do you mean you can't print? Let me log in. I log in, I print. What do you mean you can't? Well, I can't print when I'm using this software. Well, you didn't say that. There's always way too many variables. So if the question is, can I stream with this computer? Then what I'm going to say is, have you tried streaming with that computer? Because the only way, 100%, the only way you're going to know if that computer is going to work with that camera and that cable and this and that, if you already own it, is to just put it all together and use it. If you're planning on buying stuff, if you're going to use ECAMM or even think about using ECAMM, you need a Mac. Right now, if you're going to buy a Mac, the only Mac that I could guarantee you is not going to probably give you a problem is the Mac Mini M1. Whether you get the base model with the 8 gigs or you get the 16 gig model, that is what I have. I have not had one issue that was not my fault. Keyword, that wasn't my fault. You overtax the resources, it's going to start acting up. That is our fault, not the machines. So hopefully that made some sense to some people. It just blows my mind sometimes when people think that a question could be answered so easily by just throwing out the specs of your device. Like I said, my PC that I built, as far as I'm concerned, that thing's amazing. That thing's a beast. But just because of one part, that graphics card, it limits it even more. And I'm pretty sure if I was to get some high-end graphics guy or whatever, run some real high-end crazy software or something on this thing, he'll probably kill my computer. It all depends on what you're trying to do and in what way you're going to do it. And I mean, there's just so many variables. I don't know why this bothered me, seeing that comment. I don't know why it bothered me. And then, some people responding, oh, I use the same kind of computer, you're fine. No, because we have no idea what they're trying to do. Just because you put computer specs, can this work? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to just do like a one camera setup or a 5 camera setup? What's the rest of your equipment? It's not just a computer. And if you're traveling, like this person mentioned, I'll be more concerned with the internet that I'm going to be trying to use for my streams than the computer. I mean, you go stay at a hotel that you got like 2 meg down and 1 meg up, forget it. You're not streaming. All right, I got to go to bed. I just saw that post and it's like, I don't know. I don't mean to use this group as like a stress relief or a rant. It's not even work related, so I don't even know why it's bothering me. It just, and again, I'm gonna come off disrespectful. It's just the way I guess my mind works, and I always think of myself as not being as knowledgeable or educated in any area as other people. I just feel that I have some common sense and I look at things a certain way. And a lot of things that I've seen in life, at work, online throughout the years always had me question, why is this even a question? Why is this even an issue? I mean, again, back to the computer. The only way you're going to know if the computer is going to work or not is to use it for whatever it is you're going to use it for. And if it doesn't work, then you know. All right, I'm done. Get me something to drink, go to sleep. I'm going to have a long week.